Once upon a time, by a crystal-clear lake surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a graceful white swan named Hans. Hans had an unusual friend, a clever red fox who lived at the edge of the forest. The fox was witty and charming, and despite their differences, the two had developed a friendship over many months of meeting by the lake's edge. One morning, the fox approached Hans with a warm smile. He said,
"My dear friend, I would be honored if you would join me for dinner tonight. I've prepared something special just for you."
Hans was delighted. He had never been invited to the fox's home before. That evening, he gracefully made his way through the forest path to the fox's den. The den was cozy and welcoming.
"I've made the most delicious soup you've ever tasted."
Hans's mouth watered at the rich aroma. But when the fox brought out the meal, Hans's heart sank. The soup was served in a flat, shallow plate. No matter how Hans tried, he could barely manage a few drops with his long, elegant beak. The shallow dish made it impossible for him to eat. Meanwhile, the fox lapped up his soup with ease. Hans left that night with an empty stomach and a heavy heart, having learned something important about his friend's character. A week later, Hans approached the fox. He said warmly,
"My friend, I would love to return your kindness. Would you join me for dinner tomorrow evening?"
The next evening, the fox arrived at the edge of Hans's lake, his tail held high with excitement. The aroma of rich, savory stew filled the air.
Please, make yourself comfortable. I have prepared something special just for you.
But when Hans brought out the meal, the fox felt dismay. The delicious stew was served in a tall, narrow-necked jar. Hans could easily dip his long, slender beak deep inside to eat, finishing his portion while the fox sat hungry and frustrated. As the evening ended, the fox stared at Hans with a mixture of anger and disbelief.
"How could you do this to me?"
Hans looked at the fox calmly.
"I simply gave you exactly what you gave me. Now you understand how it feels."
Hans turned toward the lake. Some people show you who they are, and the wisest response is to believe them and walk away. Sometimes, from the forest edge, the fox would watch Hans, perhaps hoping for reconciliation. But Hans never looked back. He had learned that not all connections are worth maintaining, and that protecting your peace sometimes means leaving certain people behind. Not every relationship deserves forgiveness, and not every person deserves a place in your life. Sometimes the strongest response to disrespect is to show someone their own behavior and then peacefully remove yourself from their presence. True strength lies in knowing when to walk away from those who would take advantage of your kindness.